When we're trying to improve reliability and maintenance in our plants, our mines, and our mills, is that we know as maintenance people, many of you I'm sure, that it takes quite a long time to improve reliability and maintenance. For the reason, the main reason is that we need to implement better work practices. Here's just an example, right? And it takes time because it's about defining the work practices, agreed on the work practices, the workflows, decide who's doing what in that workflow, and then actually implement that. So we're talking about changing people behavior. That's why it takes time. But then we have often some people in our organization, or maybe the stock market, whatever it may be, that's very impatient. They want results very quickly. So they want real short-term results. And if we're going to have short-term results in maintenance, we really need to basically repair equipment, repair problems that we know are out there. If you want to call it fixing the backlog. Of course, we want to start with the most important and priority ones. But if we do that, if we use to repair equipment, that's typically what I see as advice from people that are maybe non-maintenance people. Well, if you just repair the problems we have, we improve the reliability, and we will have a success, which is partly true, because if we improve the equipment reliability or repair the problems we have, we will have improved reliability. Problem with that is, if we used to run and repair something, what's going to happen 2 years later, 1 year later? Well, what happens is that we don't have the work processes in place to keep the equipment at that reliability level, so we're going to be back in the same spot where we are 1 or 2 years later. So how do we deal with this? Well, the short answer is, I believe you have to work on both sides. You have to do some short-term stuff, and you have to implement the correct work processes. And when I say work processes, I mean basic planning and scheduling, or work management, basic preventive maintenance, essential care, condition monitoring. We need to find our materials and parts, and of course, if we can add some problem-solving methodology, that's important too. Those four are probably the key processes we're talking about. So how can we deal with this? One thing is to work on the work processes, and I'll come back to that. Many of you are familiar how to do that, but I'll give you some basics. The other thing is to focus on the repair now. So one way to do this is to go to your bottleneck production area, if you have one, and ask the operations manager, and ask him or her to give you a piece of equipment, or maybe 2 or maybe 3 pieces of equipment that is the most important to them at that time. And what we do with that piece of equipment, let's say it's 1, what we'll do is first we'll clean it up. So we have operations and maintenance together to clean it. Second, we'll document all the preventive maintenance actions. Definition is a little bit different for different people. We'll take that in another video. But what I mean with that is lubrication, all the inspection, condition monitoring that we can think of. That is necessary, cost-effective, I should say. And when we implement those and document those, there's a second step. The third step is to execute the PMs that we just documented. So we actually do the preventive maintenance that we have documented and try it out. And we had to adjust some of the documentation after that's done. But out of that, we'll get some repairs and some improvements. So then we'll actually repair the equipment according to the PMs that were found. And when that's done, maybe you end up doing some root cause, because typically with problematic equipment, we find some repetitive failures, things like that. So we can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever pieces of equipment you may have, and what we'll do is we'll fix them up according to that 5-step module. So you get some quick results. Now, that piece of equipment, that's great, everybody's happy. However, if you don't implement the right work processes, we're going to go back to the state that we're in before. So what are the key work processes we need to work on at the same time as we're doing this? Well, here's some graphics for that. Well, here's the key work processes as we see it. The basics of reliability and maintenance is really, first thing is to prevent problems from happening. If we can prevent problems from happening altogether, that's probably the most important thing we can do. How do we prevent failures? Well, condition monitoring or inspections doesn't prevent failures, it's just finding them, it just gives you information. So preventing problems, actions that do that are things such as good installation, correct installation, do things right the first time. So craft skills are going to be important. Things like alignment, good balancing, those kind of things, very important. Lubrication will extend life. If you do the right amount at the right time and the right lubricant, it will extend life. Operating practices. How do we operate equipment is going to be extremely important. So we want to prevent. That's some of those things. And what do you work on first is going to be depending on your situation. You probably do some type of gap analysis and figure out where you can improve the most. The next thing is this, we call it this chain. It says here, this chain must not be broken. Inspect, plan, schedule, execute. So this is the basic work management process of inspecting equipment. Inspecting could be look, listen, feel, smell. It could be vibration analysis. It could be thermography, whatever it may be. When we find something going wrong, we want to plan for the corrective action. We want to schedule it. And then what we can do is execute, of course. This is a very important chain. This is your work management chain. So if you can work on these things, if you don't have them in place, and most of you have them in place to some degree, but you want to improve them is typically what it is, and clarify them. And at the same time work on those short-term results, you will satisfy a little bit of both sides. The problem you're going to have is, of course, when we start doing better inspections, you're going to have the results of more work requests coming out. The work was still there, so it's not more work, but you will know about the work, so your backlog probably go up. And at the same time, you need to work on some of these short-term wins. So that is time and resources. So one thing that is extremely important is, of course, to get your management support to understand that to actually get over that hump of work, you need some extra resources, whether that's overtime. Well, you really just have three choices, isn't it? You know, overtime, you can add people, employ people. You can use contractors. You don't have many. Well, I guess you can move people from one area to another for a short period of time. Anyways, this is just some ideas. I hope you like these videos. There's a lot more of these, so please subscribe. It's down here somewhere. Thank you.